Hello everyone, it's Jen from Old Tinker Studio. In this tutorial, we will be learning how to make an analog television in Blender 2.9. So let's get on with the tutorial. We will start with making a simple television stand for our analog television. Scale the cube to the size of a small tabletop. Rename the object in the outliner. Tab into Edit mode. And add a small bevel to the edges using Ctrl B. You can add or subtract segments with your scroll wheel. Tab into Object mode and apply the scale with Ctrl A. Now we will make the legs for the stand. Add a cylinder and scale it to the size of a small table leg. And align it to the corner of a table. Tab into Edit mode and modify the leg as desired. Then duplicate the leg 3 times and place the duplicates on the other 3 corners of the table. Add a cylinder that will act as a brace between the legs. Rotate the cylinder around the y-axis 90 degrees and scale it to the desired size. Then place it between 2 of the legs. Then duplicate and rotate the brace 3 times to add braces for the other legs. Then, if desired, duplicate all 4 of the braces and place them higher or lower on the table legs. Tab into Object mode. Rename the object in the outliner. And apply the scale and rotation with Ctrl A. Now we'll work on the outer container of the television. Add a cube and rename it in the outliner. Move the container above the stand and scale it as desired. Then apply the scale with Ctrl A. Tab into Edit mode. Temporarily hide the tabletop. And select the bottom face of the TV base and inset the face. Unhide the tabletop. Using G, grab the face and move it down along the Z-axis to the tabletop. By moving the face rather than extruding it, we now have an angled base for the TV. Select the front face of the TV and inset it. This will make a border around the TV screen. Add a vertical edge loop and slide it to the right. We want to divide the front of the TV into a part that's 1/3 of the width and a part that's 2/3 of the width. Inset the larger side 3 times, making each inset slightly larger than the last. Now this will allow us to make bevels around the TV screen. Select the ring of faces around the screen using Alt and left clicking between 2 faces. Then use G and Y and move the faces back along the Y-axis. And repeat this process for the center rings. Then select the outer ring of faces and scale them along the Y-axis 0 degrees. This will flatten the outer ring of faces. Now select the edges and add a small bevel to them. Select the innermost face, which will become the screen, and separate from the rest of the object by using the P key and choosing Selection. Tab into Object Mode. Select just the TV base and apply the scale using Ctrl A. Select the TV screen and rename the object in the outliner. Tab in Edit Mode with the screen selected. Add multiple vertical loop cuts to the screen so we can modify the shape. Just use an odd number. Select the center loop. Turn on proportional editing with O. Use G and Y to grab the loop cut and move it along the Y-axis. Scroll your mouse wheel until the entire screen is within the circle. And then move the mouse to make the screen curve outward in the center. Then turn off proportional editing with O. Select the screen and move it back along the Y-axis so it aligns with the inner edge of the TV screen. Tab into Object Mode and apply the scale with Ctrl A. Right-click on the screen and choose Shade Smooth. Select the TV base, tab into Edit Mode, then select the innermost edge loop, the one that's surrounding the screen. Extrude it back along the Y-axis. This will fill in the gap from modifying the screen. Now we'll work on the smaller section of the TV. Select the smaller section on the right side of the TV and inset it. Use G and Y and move the face back along the Y-axis. Now we'll work on the first knob. add a cylinder and make sure that it has a triangle fan for the cap fill type. Rotate it around the x-axis 90 degrees and scale it to the desired size. Then align the knob to the upper part of the controller section of the TV. Select the front faces of the knob and inset them twice. Extrude the center and the innermost faces along the y-axis. Extrude the innermost faces a second time. Add a cube and scale it down to the size of a small handle for the knob. Then rotate the handle as desired, just to give it a little bit of life. And align it to the center of the knob. And make sure that it only intersects with the innermost part of the knob. Duplicate the knob and the handle and move the duplicate down along the z-axis. Use the knife tool, which is K, and draw out two straight lines just below the knobs. Left click on an edge, drag the mouse to the opposite edge, then click Enter to make an edge. Now if you hold down the Shift key while moving the mouse up and down, that'll allow you to better control where the vertex will be placed. Add a cylinder, rotate it around the x-axis 90 degrees, and scale it to the size of a small knob. Then align the knob in between the two edges that you just made. Select the front faces and inset them. Then extrude the faces along the y-axis and scale them as desired. Duplicate the knob and move it to the side. Now add two more edges toward the bottom of the smaller section of the TV. Select the small knobs and duplicate them. Then move the duplicates toward the bottom of the smaller section of the TV, in between the two edges that you just made. Duplicate these knobs and align them with the other knobs. Now we will make the speaker. Add a cube and scale it to the desired size of a speaker section. Now make sure that you leave it long enough that it can intersect with the TV. Then align it to the TV between the smaller knob sections. And make sure that it intersects with the TV. Separate the speaker section using the P key. Tab into Object Mode. Select just the speaker section. Add an array modifier. And we want to use a negative factor along the z-axis. Then increase the count to fill in the space for the speaker. And apply the modifier. Select the TV base. Add a Boolean modifier. For the object, select the speaker section that you just made. The operation should be different. Apply the modifier. And then delete the speaker sections. Add a plane. Rotate it around the x-axis 90 degrees. And scale it to the size of the speaker. And then place it behind these speakers so we can't see all the way to the back of the TV. And apply the scale. Now we'll make a set of antennae, commonly known as rabbit ears. Add a UV sphere. This will be the base for our rabbit ears. Rename the object in the outliner. Tab into Edit Mode. In Wireframe View, select the bottom half of the sphere with the B key. Delete the selected faces. Go back into Solid View. Select the rabbit ear base and scale it to the desired size. And then align it to the top of the TV. Make sure that you have the Mesh Loop Tools add-on activated under your preferences. Now choose two faces on each side of the rabbit ears. Right-click, and under Loop Tools, choose Circle. Now inset the faces to the desired size for the antennae. Use Alt-E, extrude faces along normals, and extrude the antennae. We'll be doing 3 extrusions in total. Inset the faces. And extrude them a second time. And then repeat this process for a third time. Then extrude the faces one more time for the very top section of the antennae. And select the top faces as well as the ring of faces around the final extrusion. And using Alt-E, extrude faces along normals and extrude the top of the antennae. Tab into object mode and apply the scale with Ctrl-A. Right click on the rabbit ears and choose Shade Smooth. Under the UV editing workspace, select all of your objects, tab into edit mode, and make sure you have all the objects selected with the A key. Using the U key, bring up the UV mapping menu and choose Smart UV Project. Then export the UV map using the UV drop-down menu. Now we'll work on the lighting. Under the shading workspace, select the light. Under the light tab, change the light to an area light. Move the light to the back of the scene. And rotate it so it interacts with the objects. Change the power as desired. I'm going to use 1500. Duplicate the light and move it to the front of the scene. And rotate it so it interacts with the objects. Change the power as desired. I'm going to use 2000. Duplicate the light and move it to the other side at the front of the scene. Rotate it so it interacts with the objects. And change the power as desired. I'm going to use 2500. Now we'll add some basic materials. Select the tabletop and name the material. Give it a wood color. I'm using the hex code of E7A763. Change the roughness to 0.8 and the metallic to 0.2. Add a noise texture node. Connect the color output to the base color input of the principled shader. Change the dimensions of the noise texture to 2D. Add a color ramp node. And place it in between the noise texture and the principled shader. Change the white color stop to the original wood texture. Again, the hex code is E7A763. And change the black color stop to a darker wood color using the hex code 715230. And change the other options as desired on the noise texture. I'm going to leave my scale at 5 and change the detail to 10 and my roughness to 1. Select the legs of the table. Under the Materials tab, use the drop-down menu beside the New button and choose the same material that you used for the tabletop. Now we'll work on the materials for the TV. Select the TV base, add a new material, name the material, and give it a wood color. I'm using the hex code 634229. Change the roughness to 0.8 and the metallic to 0.2. Add a noise texture. Change the dimensions to 2D. Connect the color output of the noise texture to the normal input of the principled shader. Add a normal map node in between the noise texture node and the principled shader. Change the strength of the normal map as desired. I'm going to change mine to 0.05. And then change the options of the noise texture node as desired. To change my scale to 50, my detail to 75, roughness to 1, and my distortion to 70. And then change my normal map to 0.5. Now we'll work on the materials for the speaker, knobs, and rabbit ears. Select the plane, add a new material and name it. Give it a dark gray base color. I'm using the hex code of 202020. Change the roughness to 0.9 and the metallic to 0.1. Select the TV base and tab into edit mode. Add a new material and name it. Give it a dark gray base color. I'm using the hex code 262626. Change the roughness to 0.9 and the metallic to 0.1. And select your small knobs. And assign the material. I select the outer ring and the center rings of the larger knobs. And assign the same material as the small knobs. Make a new material for the center ring and the handles. And give it an aluminum base color. I'm using the hex code BA. Change the metallic to 0.5 and the roughness to 0.5. Assign this material to the center ring of faces and the handle of the larger knob. Tab into object mode. Select the rabbit ears. And under the Materials tab, use the drop-down menu beside the New Material button. Choose the same material you used for the metal on the larger knobs. Now we'll work on the material for the screen. Select the screen, add a new material, name the material, and give it a dark gray base color. Using the hex code 181818. Change the roughness to 0.2, the sheen to 0.1. Add a noise texture node. And connect the color output to the base color input of the principled shader. Change the dimension to 2D. Add a color ramp in between the noise texture and the principled shader. Change the white color stop to the original color using the hex code 181818, and leave the black color stop as it is. You can change the options on the noise texture as you want. I'm just going to leave mine as the default. Now you can bake the textures onto the UV map. Open the UV map that you saved earlier. Now select the plane and add an image texture node. And open the UV map on the node. Keep that node selected. Copy the image texture node and paste it on every other material. Under the Render Properties tab, change to the Cycles Render and use GPU if you have it available. Select all the objects for your model. Under the Bake section, click Bake. Then under the drop-down menu, save the baked image. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.